All right, welcome. My name is Jason Bach again. That's never changed, has it? Uh, I haven't done this in a while. I haven't done a Free Code Friday in a while, so I kind of forgot the rhythm and the cadence that I was getting into. But I am going to start these up again, though I haven't actually published any of these yet. So that's something I said. This right now is actually the last week of April. So this coming week, I'm going to be speaking in Austin at VS Live, and I will find some time to actually do the little intro and outro that I want to have for the videos, and then I'll start publishing the ones that I've been doing actually since, you can see here, mid-February. So at some point I'll start to catch up with what's been going on, but for right now, this is episode 19, and let's get right into it. So what am I going to do today? Well, I've been working more and more on this editor config. I think last time I was doing some Quixel project updates, and I said, yeah, I needed to put the brakes on that for a little bit. My web client skills are atrocious. I don't have any, and it's been a little frustrating to figure out, well, how would I get the layout and everything right? And then not only that, but I started to have some feelings of concern for the actual framework and how the objects were going to work with bindings and the UI elements, and was that actually correct or not. So I said, I'm going to put that one on hold for just a little bit. So I came back to this thing, and it's been a lot of fun. I actually have, at this point, no, not that one, this one. You can see I got, I don't know, this is going to tell me how I got selected here. Is there any way to see? You have selected Quux. Doesn't tell you anything. But I don't know, I'm guessing probably like 20, 30 maybe, something like that. And I still got some more to do, and it's just been a fun project to keep working on. What I started working on is these integration tests. And what these integration tests do is, the app that I have right now, it just simply goes off and runs, if I remember right, this, just some solution that's the one I'm in right now. So it works, but I don't know if I'm actually exercising all of the styles that I have. I mean, I have tests for them, but as I know, unit tests are great, but you need to always do more. And so what I've been starting to work on are some integration tests to make sure, one, I'm hopefully exercising all of them, but two, I may be making some bad assumptions or just mistakes in my code that other sets of code are going to show me. So I did that for Rocks, the mocking library I have. When I started actually running it against MS Core Lib, I was surprised. I shouldn't say actually, no, I wasn't surprised at all, because I found out, there's a lot of things that I just coded wrong, or I didn't know things that you can do in the language that I just wasn't handling correctly. So I wanted to do something like that for this. And what I've got is this little program that does a couple things. First, I got a list of a bunch of projects here, and what this does, as you can see, it's got the name of the project and then also the URL of the GitHub repo of where it's stored. And I got to break this up. I've just been kind of futzing this right now, so it's one big function, and that's not a great thing, but works for now. And so what I do is I just make sure that I first create a directory. By the way, I don't have Windows 10 set up to do this update. We don't have to run into long paths, and I did that. I don't have that set up on my OS just yet. So when I was doing it off the directory that I currently have and getting all these repos, I was running into the path too long crap. So I just stuck it into a directory like this. I want to try after my speaking engagement this coming week. Not now, because that would be bad. Don't do that now, Jason. You know better than that. But to come back and then do the update and then I don't really necessarily have to worry about what directory I'm really in. I also tried to do the thing with setting something on application arguments, and that wasn't working for some reason. I don't know why. Supposedly my friend Rocky Laka was just messing around with it in his computer, and it's basically you just turn things on and off, you keep trying to set the thing, and finally the launch settings.json file kicks in. So anyway, I just have it hard-coded to that directory for now. But what this does is it goes and says, if you don't have the code directory there, then create it, then get all the projects, that's the list you just saw, and then go through all the projects and say if the project directory doesn't exist, go out and clone it. And I'm using libgit to sharp to do that, and it just worked just fine for what I need. So do the clone. Otherwise, if it's there, then fetch it. Okay. Then the next thing I do, and this is something I want to change, is I just go off now and look at all the directories that are there and start analyzing them. What I want to do is say, okay, now for each project directory, what I want to do is what I'm right here. Okay, and just look at the projects, because what I've been doing is I've been commenting like some of these out and trying to focus on one of them, because for a couple of reasons. One, I'm using BuildEliezer, which Dave, my last name starts with a G, forgot what it was, sorry, but he wrote this package that allows you to analyze solutions and be able to find the projects and the code and everything with them and do them in a very generalized fashion, for lack of a better term. And it's worked great, but I found that as I've been including some of these libraries, I'm actually getting exceptions within his code. At least that's the way it looks. So one of the things I've had to do is start going through all these and then finding the specific errors and then setting them off that error information so he can try to reproduce them and see what the problem is. Some of these projects like AutoFac, when I ran it, it wasn't actually giving me any of the files within the projects, which is really weird because there's tons of CS files in there. So there's some bugs in there. But then anyway, so that's been the main problem. But I'll be commenting some of these out, and I want to focus on just one. But then the problem is the way I've got this code written is that this just goes off and goes into all the directories from the base code directory and tries to find solution files. What I actually want to do is, one, change this for every project you got here, is to then, whether you just cloned it or fetched it, is to do that where you're going through the solution files and then having them be analyzed. But I want to also put the option in here to say, what I also want to be able to do is just say, for each of these projects, go into its directory and then have my code have another option to say, if I give you a directory, just recursively look through all the directories within them and find CS files and parse them and give me results back. So I completely get away from trying to analyze a solution file. That's arguably not correct in that I'm not saying, hey, look at your solution or your project, but I am still saying you got a bunch of code in this directory. Let's assume that it's all for the same project or the solution. And then what I'll do is look through all the code files in that directory and just consider that all to be one unit. So that's something I got to add here. So, where is this? Generator. So generates from solution. What I need to say is public static. I think it'll be async. I wish if my mouse wasn't there. See, then it goes away. But I wish that just happened, for lack of a word. So generate from directory async string directory text writer. Okay. Analyzing. Is there a directory object? Yes, there is. Okay. Be a little bit more precise in what I'm trying to do. Okay, so then what I want to do is come back here and copy this little recursive function and put that here. Yeah, I didn't really really didn't get local functions. Well, I mean, I understood how they worked. I didn't get the appeal of them right away. But I'll have to say that once I started playing with them a little bit, especially when I have to do things like recursive, local functions end up working really well. Okay, now, if I got a directory, can I just say get? Oh, I think it's confused because let's just look at what directory gives me. Really? Is that it? I mean, you don't get much more off a directory object than that? Oh yeah, you get a lot more than that. You get current directory, you get directories. It's not that. Oh. Subdirectories that match specified search pattern. No, I don't want search patterns. Oh yeah, this is. There's names of subdirectories. Specified directory. Yep. Screw it. Just make it a string because that's what I had before. Now that is directory, and because of the way local functions work, they actually can see the outside stuff. So that's why it's getting confused here. Naming is hard. Fine, we'll just call it subdirectory. And then each file in subdirectory. Now if it's a CS file, yeah, I want here to get an aggregator because reasons, and then yeah, well, I already did that, so I just need to there. So I've got my, except it's not a it's not a document. What is this? This is that's a document. Crap. Well, no, because, yeah, here I'm saying, there we go. Okay, this is what I want to copy. When in doubt, copy and paste. There we go. Except I don't have... So I want to do... I got the aggregator update with... Except, okay, that's the file. Okay, and then this is... I still need the tree though, because that's going into compilation, yes, but I don't need to do that. I can just say unit with the model. Done. There we go. Okay. So this gives me all the files. And then subdir. Oh. There we go. Now, I've gone through the directory, I've found all the files, I've analyzed them all. I don't know how efficient or inefficient this is going to be, but I don't really care. This will just get away from me having to use BuildEliezer for the moment. And then the configuration. Okay, so Okay. Oh. See, it's a little inconsistent. I'm making the variable outside of the function, but let's make that explicit. I like being explicit. Style aggregator. Okay. Oh, and then I gotta pass in the one that I get. Okay, so now var, is that gonna, no, because that's a, oh, it does. Fine. Because I can't think of a better name. I have to take analyze files async with my directory and my egg, and then return that. Oh, and that's got to be awaited. Okay. And that's not that. That's that. There. That should work. Okay. Now if I come back to this, what I want to do here is that, okay, yeah, that's the spot. So then here, because what I was doing before is when I was copying, commenting out one of these or the other just to focus on one, I'd still have directories there, and then it would try to analyze those. This is basically saying, based on the list that you gave me, I'm only going to look at these directories. They should have been either cloned or fetched, one or the other. If there's other ones there, I just ignore them. They have to be in the list that I'm currently looking at it. So now what's the name of the directory that I get? The project directory. Okay. Yeah. And then I come here and I say analyzing that, and then generate from directory. There. Okay. And then this, this will, I want to keep this around because eventually I want to do it where I go through all the solutions, but not right now. Okay, so does it build? It does. All right, let's give this a whirly whirl. See what happens. Yeah, let's just go for it. Okay, cool. So this is actually not bad in the sense that if I look at this, yeah, because so I know exactly which file now to look at, and I can also look at this and go, yeah, I already noticed in other solutions that BuildEliezer actually could get files from that I was tripping on this one and a couple of other projects. So this is actually good because now I can go back and go, what is in this file that's causing this to trip? Okay, that's actually good. Let's actually also test out my idea in that if I accept, it's not going to like that because it has to think it's that. Yeah, so now if I just do autofac, let's just see if it does this right. Good. And it wasn't getting any files in autofac before. And so let's see. I apparently suck at this one because I know I have other errors with this. How much time have I got left in this episode? Let's see here. About 10 minutes left. Okay. And I have a flight to catch tomorrow morning. I got to get up at 6, so I don't want to stay up too late. But let's see. Actually, Yeah, why don't you know? It's like it loses because I have an external drive that sometimes goes to sleep, and when I actually access something from it, it goes, oh, it's not there. It's like it gets confused or something. I don't know. All right, let's look at that and say, sorry to work on integration testing with other repos. Okay, so let's do this again. And I don't know if I like this with all the files going by. I might want to change that, but that's okay. So the specific file, oh, was that an angle sharp? I believe so. Not that it matters. This is a little odd in how I'm doing this, because how I'm commenting and uncommenting code is going to be a little squirrely. I think there's a way to get around it, but for tonight, this is fine. This is fine. It's like the dog in the room and fire. This is fine. All right. Yeah, color. Okay. So let's take this. See how big this file is. All right, I had to do a little edit because I have some code in here for some other project that I'm on that I technically can't show. So my mistake. So that's why there was a little edit there. All right, so this is unfortunately somewhat of a big file. It would be nice. Well, I could just run the code. Because it's going to break here, and then I can see where it's actually breaking. Kind of curious, how many else's does it have in this? Else if, you know, I wonder. I don't know if I'm actually handling like an else if case. I wonder if that's the problem. All right, so let's just close that out. I have to do another edit. So I should be in breakpoint mode, and let's see where this actually ends up. Not breakpoint mode, it's in debug mode, so it should just stop where it fails. Alright, so previous block. The node is an else clause, else if. Yeah, I bet, I'm really betting it's an else if. I'm not handling if you do else if. I think all my tests, in fact, if I look at my tests for the else, again, with the, you know, and then the problem is if I do this, and I add the file, they're going to show up in there as, you didn't want to have these in there. It's just it's annoying. And I actually reported it to Microsoft, and they're like, man, we know we make temporary files occasionally, but we don't see that. I'm like, right there. And this is why. See, there, video. If they come back and they say, maybe I've ranted about this on another video before, but I've got proof now. Proof like 10 times now already or something like that. All right, let's go back to my tests. This is the else one. Add bar elsewhere. I'm tired. Ugh, coding tired is not a good thing. C# new line. Oh, there. Okay, I was like, dude, I not even have tests for this. That would suck. If else, if yeah, I do not have tests for else if. Okay, so I'm not going to figure this out now, but I am going to make a note to myself and say, this is probably where the problem is. You're not handling if you do an else if or something like that. I could be wrong. I'm just assuming based on what I just saw there and where the break was on. That was actually on. Okay, now I'm curious. The stupid thingy. Let's do this one more time, and then I'll stop. So I wonder if it's going to tell me what line of code I'm on, and I can go back and check. So, node. What line are you on? That's right. It doesn't say a line. If H does the first else, yep, and then H minus 1, yeah. That's exactly what this is. 1F, that's probably the first one it hits. You don't get to see like what line it's on. You see the span because all the trivia, even basically returns are wrapped up in trivia, so it just spans, and so you don't actually know like which line you're on. But I'm like 99.99% it's because of this. That's tripping it, and I'm just not handling that. Or I'm like it's not actually failing there; it's failing in this previous block. In that it's looking at the previous node. What's a previous node? Yeah, it thinks it's H plus 1F. So it's looking at this. I may also be assuming that you're always going to put braces around because you should. Why wouldn't you? And I bet people are not doing that like they're doing here. And so when I go up to the previous block, I'm assuming that it would be a block syntax, so that's what you should get. Otherwise, go up and you should find a block, which up here, the previous node is that, and it's going to look at its child nodes and say, find me a block, and there's going to be no block in there. So I actually have to be a little bit more, what could be before you could be just a one-line statement, essentially. So that's, again, my assumptions, they were bad, and I need to account for that. But this is good. This is why I want to have this integration program and just be able to really quickly, again, if I go back in this and look at this, if I uncomment all this, and nope. So now that should all, there we go. So now if I get like another project and another project, I can just keep adding these. And yeah, it may take some time to run through all of them, but that's okay. I'm fine with that. That's no big deal. So anyway, that's where I'm going to stop. I've got some work to do to clean that one up and address it. The try and the catch ones I don't think is a problem because you actually have to have blocks there. You can't do like one line tries or catches. You actually have to have blocks as far as I know. There's no way to not define that. Alright. You can't say try. Just try calling program.main. Null. Catch. Yeah, it's already, it's like, you're dumb. You don't know what you're doing. Because you need to, yeah, it's getting all confused. You have to put the braces there. And of course, it doesn't like that because but even if I did that, yeah, it's not going like, what? Yeah, I'm expecting that, you stupid. What's wrong with you? Okay, so I know what I need to do. I'll probably just do that on my own time because the next 4 or 5 days I'm going to be in a hotel and not have I think the right height for my camera and everything else. So I'm probably not going to do that, but I'll try to fix this and make some more progress on that. And then when I come back, hopefully actually start publishing some of these videos and getting them up and making them available on YouTube. But that's all I'm going to do for now. So thank you for watching. You got questions and comments, you know where to put them. Otherwise, I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.